Do you know that when women in America gained the right to vote in 1920, the KKK started a branch just for women? That's right! Their politics combined racism, nativism, nationalism, and feminism? Yep, feminism. Why feminism? It all started when a woman from Indiana received an invitation to hear a lecture where only white women were invited. The lecture, given by another white woman, had topics ranging from Bible study and the importance of maintaining the American way. All the women who showed up for the lecture ended up being invited to join a secret society that focused and still focuses on protecting precisely those things. Then, they were given white robes and pointed white hoods that obscure their faces. Classy. Well, the 1920s marked the climax for the WKKK. These women took part in major actions by the Klan responsible for some of its most monstrous and violent results, such as white women's rape accusations against black men that caused the Tulsa race riots in 1921 and the lynching and murder of 14-year-old Emmett Till in 1955. The WKKK activists quickly discovered that sexual victimization was just as effective against white men too, making their Klan perhaps even more effective than their male counterparts. Their xenophobic agenda turned out to be really good at hiding their white supremacist mission, using the facade of social welfare, like Klan members showing up to church on Sunday mornings, donating money or running charity events, throwing Christmas parties for orphans, and raising money to build Protestant-only hospitals. They even created special Klan rites for wedding ceremonies, christenings, and funerals. So, were they actually fighting only for their rights, or should we say privileges? Let's also keep in mind that in some southern states, black women weren't allowed to exercise their right to vote until the 1960s. So, what does all this mean for us women? Black, brown, Asian, white, or anyone? It's important to recognize those who have fought and keep fighting for us women to have a voice. But what happens when that voice is only for one specific race or class? It disqualifies every intention of equity and therefore can be called feminism. Black women not only had to deal with black and white sexism at the time, but also violent racism of white suffragists. It is definitely positive that women around the world are more freely speaking up, because women shouldn't have to deal with harassment and violence at all. But when the media diminishes cases of women of color by only talking about injustice against white women in Hollywood, we're able to see that we are not that far from how race was seen back in the 1920s. The fight of suffrage as women has indeed a pretty disturbing connection with white supremacy's rise, because the junction of idea continues to influence women's involvement in white supremacy today. Take for example Lena Dunham, a self-proclaimed feminist that was given the space to create and become an icon for women. Unfortunately, only for one type of women. When rape accusations against one of her male writers, Murray Miller, surfaced, these were considered by Dunham as part of the 3% of false accusations. And Zizi Clemens, who not long ago decided to stop writing for Dunham's online feminist weekly newsletter because of racism in her work environment for Lena and her friends. The civil rights struggle and black liberation movements had championed black men who had been dehumanized by the terrorist activities of the KKK and the legal structures under Jim Crow. Some black men saw the insistence of feminist politics by black women as being tied to white women against black men. And although these black women affirmed their connection to the black struggle, they would not allow themselves to be conquered by black men, insisting on black women's liberation as its own project. Thanks for watching. My name is Mariana Gongora, and don't forget to follow us and like our new page, Tell a Story Play. And please leave your comments, suggestions, or topics you would like us to do. Ciao!